Hello guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Dolakbadu, and in today's video, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be talking about how to maximize your 20s. And if you are in your 20s and you're watching this video, I encourage you to stay tuned to the end because I'm going to be sharing a lot of useful nuggets, and these are things that I've learned over the years as well. I'm still in my 20s. I'm 25 years old, and I became a medical doctor at the age of 21. At the age of 24, I already have a master's degree in public health and international development. Currently, I'm a line manager in one of the top organizations in my city here in the UK. I also run 2 businesses. And I would say that from when I was 20 up to this moment when I'm about 25, there are a lot of things I've learned, and I'm going to be sharing how you can truly maximize your 20s. Now, this is not to say that if you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s or older, this video is not relevant. It's still relevant for you, and there are things that you can learn from it. But if you're in your 20s, it gives you that opportunity to really do things and, start to shape your future. And I'm going to be talking about how you can do that in today's video. So that is something you're interested in, then definitely keep watching. So the first tip I would give in maximizing your 20s is developing a strong relationship with God. Now, I'm a Christian, and one thing I do, if I look back at from the moment I was 20 till this time, I would say that most of what I've been able to achieve at this age is not because the greatest, or it's not because I have superpowers or anything, because people come to me and they're like, how is it possible that you are just 25, you already have all this going on in your life? And truly, when I think about it, it could only be God, because when you have a strong relationship with God, God begins to guide your path. He begins to direct your path. So you are less prone to making mistakes. Of course, you still make mistakes because from mistakes you learn, but not costly mistakes that can, cost you, your future, or cost you something that you will still in 10 years time be regretting. That's why when you walk with God, God directs your path. And I would say in my 20s, since in my early 20s, I could tell, or if I look back, I can say for sure that God was really directing my path. He was really helping me, taking me through the journey and things like that. Now, of course, one of the reasons why I was able to become a medical doctor at 21 was because I started medical school at the age of 15. Under the right policies and governance of my medical school, I was allowed and permitted to start medical school that early. And I would say, even at that age, you would think at the age of 15, going to university at the age of 15, like, how did you cope? How did you do it? How did you not fall astray? How did you not sway? It was still God. Like, looking back, God has been there all through. So basically what I'm saying, that in your 20s, if you truly want to maximize your 20s, the best way, and that's why it's my number one, the best way is to develop a strong relationship with God. Don't take your relationship with God for levity. Like, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, have a strong relationship with God. Seek God. The Bible says in the book of Matthew 6 verse 33, it says that seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and every other thing will be added unto you. And that has been my motto. Of course, there are times that I'm distracted. There are times that I look at the things of the world and then forget the place of God. But even when I'm wandering away, I still know that I have to come back to God. Like, no matter how I wander, no matter how far away I wander, I know that I have to come back to God. There's no how, because I can't live without God. I can't do anything without God. I want you to have that mindset as well, that God guides me and directs me. Even the Bible says that lines will fall in pleasant places for you. And those are the kind of prayers I used to pray, and I'm still praying right from my early 20s, that Lord, let lines fall in pleasant places for me. That means that essentially I want to be where you want me to be. I want to be at the right time, in the right place, to receive the right opportunity. That's the kind of prayer that you need to be praying in your 20s. And I know that God is going to direct you. He will start showing you things to do. I remember my master's. When I finished my medical school, I wasn't really thinking of master's that much. Or let me say, I was thinking about it, but I wasn't really so serious about it. But I said to seek the face of God. And then God was like, yes, go ahead, do your master's. And I was like, God, I don't have money to do master's. And then that was when God brought about, scholarship opportunities for me, and eventually I received a scholarship to then study in the UK. Now, almost 2 years after, I'm here and I'm thriving by the grace of God. So I want you to know that when you take every step directed by God, it really helps you to maximize your 20s. Now, that's my first point. The second point, and this is so valuable in the sense that, when you are surrounded by people that are wiser and more experienced than you, the mistakes that they have made, they are able to, caution you and say, oh, be careful. This mistake has happened to me before. I don't want it to happen to you. Now, when I look at my caliber of friends, like my really close friends, most of them are older than me. Like, I'm friends with people that are in their 40s, like close friends, very good friends with people in their 40s, people in their 30s. And I started that from my early 20s. Now, of course, I do have friends that were the same age group. I also do have best friends or close friends that I'm older than, but I make sure that I surround myself with people that are wiser and more experienced. I have mentors. I have mentors that I go to meet if I have any financial or any like business idea or any business advice or financial advice. I have mentors I go to meet for spiritual matters. I have spiritual mentors, people I go to meet if I need to make a decision, I know that, okay, God has led me to speak to this person about it, and it's a spiritual kind of thing, or it's about my spiritual growth or prayer or things like that. I have people that I go to meet, and these people are most times older than me. I have mentors that I can go to meet when it comes to like relationship advice, friendships, marriage, things like that. And the reason why I have all these people around me is because they are more experienced. They have more experience than I do. They have been through, and these are people like in their 40s, their 30s, even like 50s, who have been through this journey, and maybe sometimes a similar journey. Let's say if it's a business kind of advice I need, or financial advice or investment advice, these are people that have been through that journey. So they know the mistakes that they made on the way. So when I'm about to make that mistake, they're able to caution me and say, oh, wait, why not do it this way? Don't do it that way. So you need to surround yourself with people that are wiser, people that are more experienced than you. Now, if you see an opportunity, I know that Mrs. Morenike Mulehi, who is also my mentor, she usually has this mentorship session, and I had the opportunity to be a part of that mentorship session. And I won't even lie, it was life changing for me. So if you see opportunities like that, please grab them. But of course, seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit, seek the guidance of God before jumping into those kind of opportunities, because not every open door is for you. But if you see an open door, an open opportunity to be mentored by someone that maybe you're looking up to, like, it really helps. Grab that opportunity. If God says go ahead, please by all means grab that opportunity. Now, aside from that, even if you don't have the opportunity to go into like mentorship sessions with people that you look up to, you've already followed them on, let's say, social media. For example, if you look at my list of people I follow on social media, like Instagram and things like that, there are people that I look up to. There are people that is either in the place of finance, they are at that point where I'm like, God, I want to get to that point. Or maybe people in like, maybe spiritually, there are people that I know that whenever they make a post on social media, it edifies my spirit, it helps me. Or people that, for example, they give a lot of very useful marriage advice or useful relationship advice about friendships, relationships, and things like that. And I know that I always learn something from that. I follow them. No, there are so many things. So your social media following shouldn't be people that just for fun or entertainment. Yes, it's fine. You can meet people or you can follow people on social media like comedy accounts and things like that. That is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Laughter is good for the soul, right? But I'm saying as much as you have those accounts you're following on social media, also follow people that is at that point where I want to reach, if that makes sense. So even if you cannot be one-to-one mentored with them, I know this person as well, Mrs. Tolokwe Solutions. She also does mentoring. If you can afford it, if you can pay for it, go for it as well. Like, these are people that I look up to. These are people that I'm like, oh wow, I would definitely want to join their mentorship session. So if you have the opportunity, grab it. And if maybe you don't have the resources to be able to do a one-to-one mentoring with someone you look up to, then you can learn a lot just by following them on social media. So that's my second tip on maximizing your 20s. Third one is, don't be afraid to grab opportunities. I cannot overemphasize this. And the reason being that we live in a land or in a world of opportunities. And if you don't step out of your comfort zone, to grab an opportunity, the world will move fast and you'll be left behind. Now, what do I mean? Sometimes we have what we call imposter syndrome, and I've struggled with that as well, whereby we think we are not good enough. So let's say, for example, you see an opportunity, it could be a job opportunity or career related opportunity, a scholarship opportunity, in fact. And I'll give my experience with that. So when I was applying for scholarships to study a master's in the UK, I remember looking at the requirements, and yes, fine. I was able to tick all the boxes, whether it was grade requirement or it was maybe my country requirement or experience requirements. I was able to tick or check all those boxes, but still, I was still doubting myself. I was still like, in my head, I was thinking, oh, and whenever I thought of scholarships, I used to think of people that are extremely smart, extremely intelligent, people that have a world or wide range of experiences. But then I had to sit myself down that, come on. These people getting scholarships, they don't have two heads. They have one head just like me. They have one brain just like me. So if they can get a scholarship, why can't I? And besides, I'm a child of God. My father, who is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, he has the whole world in his hands. That means there is nothing that is out of reach for him. So if he says, my daughter, take, I receive. So I had to train my mind to understand that, this imposter syndrome is not going to take me anywhere. It's just going to limit me. It's just going to make me stagnant. So it was actually then training my mind to come out of that gave me the opportunity to then say, okay, fine, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to apply for this scholarship, and I'm going to trust that God is going to bring it to me. I want you to also, have that mindset, train your mind on it. I remember it was so difficult for me to even write my personal statement, like my statement of purpose. I couldn't sit down to actually write something good about myself because I felt, okay, I probably don't deserve this, or I felt, oh, I don't think I'm good enough for this, and it just limits you. Now imagine if I hadn't grabbed that opportunity. Imagine if I still limited myself. I won't be here today. I won't have received the scholarship I finally received eventually. And it would have opened more doors for me that it has opened right now. So I want to encourage you, imposter syndrome, I see it as a stronghold essentially, where it limits you from taking opportunities. If you see an opportunity that you are the best fit for or is right for you, please go ahead to grab the opportunity. And that's why I mentioned earlier that my first point would be having a strong relationship with God. Because when you're working with God, you then know what opportunities are for you and which one aren't. Because not all opportunity is for you. So it then helps you to know, okay, fine, this door, maybe I shouldn't go through this door, or this door is for me. So God guides you in order to grab the best opportunities. But when God is leading you to grab an opportunity, don't feel that you are too young. Don't feel like you're too inexperienced. Don't feel like, oh, I'm not good enough for this. Please go ahead to grab the opportunity. And I'm going to leave a Bible passage as well about that. Next point that I will talk about today in maximizing your 20s is creating smart goals. Now, if you're not familiar with the term smart, it means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound goals. So essentially, if you want to set a goal, and what is a goal? A goal is something that you work towards. So without goals, you remain stagnant. You don't move. You don't grow essentially. So you need to set a goal for yourself. Now, it's not to put any pressure on you. Because I know that some people, they feel under pressure when people ask them like, oh, what's your 5-year goal? What's your 10-year goal? Because let's be frank, we don't have it all figured out. Sometimes you may set a goal and life happens and you're not able to achieve that goal. And that is completely fine. But at least have a goal in mind. Have something that you want to achieve by a certain time. Now, that goal should be specific in that, for example, let's say your goal is to improve your income or improve your finances. So don't just set a goal and say, I want to improve my finances. That is okay, but it's too general. Why not make it more specific? So how do you want to improve your finances? Do you want to do more investments? Do you want to start up a business? Do you want to get a higher paying job? These are more specific. Now, in terms of measurable goals, you want to be able to set a goal that you can measure and you can track. This is important because when you divide the year, let's say into quarters, you have the first quarter, second quarter, or third quarter, depending on how many quarters of the year you want to divide it into. Usually we do first and second quarter, right? So you want to be able to set a goal that you are able to measure that, okay, by the end of the first quarter, I should have been able to do this to reach my goal. And then by the second quarter, I should have been able to do this progress to ultimately then reach my goal. So you want to set a goal that you can measure in that way. That really helps you to like track your progress, see what you need to do, what you are not doing that you have to start doing, and what you've done that you have to continue doing. So it really helps you to track the progress of you reaching your goal. The next one, which is A, is attainable. So you want to set a goal that is very realistic. You don't want to set a goal that you know that or maybe you're not sure that you'll be able to achieve this goal by the end of the time period you have given. So I'm all about, stretching yourself, being more, doing more. That is very vital. That's very good. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're setting realistic goals for yourself, goals that you know that you can attain. Okay, so let's say, for example, you wanted to set a goal to maybe travel to 3 countries by the end of this year, and you are not even started working towards your getting a passport. So it's very unlikely for you to be able to do that because it involves a whole process to travel out of a country. You have to have your passport, your visas, you have to do so many other things, your health checks and all of that. So if you're already setting that goal by the end of this year, and you don't even have a passport, it's still, you're not sure whether you'll be able to attain that goal or not. So you want to set a goal that is attainable. The next one is that you want to set a goal that is relevant. So set a goal that you know that is relevant for your growth, for your personal development. Don't set a goal that you're not even sure whether it's going to help you in any way. You have to set relevant goals. They are very important. And then the last one is time bound. So in my previous examples I talked about by the end of this year, you can decide to set a goal for the end of the month or for the end of the week or for even the end of the day. So you have to make sure that your goal is time bound. And the reason why that is important is because it helps you from procrastinating. If you don't set a time bound goal, you wake up every morning and you keep procrastinating. You'll be like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you don't end up doing it because you've not set a time to it. So you have to ensure that your goal is time bound. So if you want to set a goal, ask yourself, okay, how long realistically is it going to take me to be able to set this goal? And if it's by the end of the year, you know that you'll be able to achieve that goal, then put the end of the year as that time limit. So when you're setting goals, you also want to ensure that the goals are aligning with your professional values, your personal values, spiritual values. There could be different goals. You don't have to set only career goals. You can set spiritual goals. You can set even relationship goals. Maybe your goal is to reach out to more friends, or your goal is to start up a business. So there are different kind of goals that you can set, but just ensure that they are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, and it's important that even after setting your goal, reflect on it. Okay, if you're able to achieve that goal, that's fantastic. Reflect on what you did right, what you didn't do right, and that would help you in the next goal that you're going to set. If you're not able to achieve your goal at that particular time, that is fine. It's not the end of the world. Go back, retrace your steps, see what you need to do. See, maybe you need to give yourself more time to be able to achieve that goal. Give grace to yourself. Don't think that, okay, it's end of the world or all hope is lost because you were not able to achieve your goal. That's my fourth point on how to maximize your 20s, setting smart goals. The next point is don't compare yourself to others. I don't know what it is about my generation and comparing ourselves to other people. It's important that when you see things on social media, you have to remember that people post on social media what they want you to see. You don't know the backstory, you don't know the background, you don't know how they are living their everyday life. So let's say, for example, you see someone in their 20s, maybe early 20s, and maybe you are also in your early 20s, or you are in maybe your mid 20s, your late 20s, and you see someone in their early 20s, maybe they are thriving, they're able to buy houses for their parents, buy cars, they bought a BMW, they're driving Lamborghinis, and then you now sit down in your room, you now start thinking of your life. You now start looking at your life and start having self-pity, start thinking, oh my God, look at my mate, he's driving this car, he's building houses. No, comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison steals your focus on where you're at the moment. It prevents you from actually appreciating where you're at the moment. Another thing that comparison also does is that it shifts your focus. So you are so distracted looking at the life of other people that you yourself, you're not even focusing on, okay, what is my purpose in life? The people that you are looking at, maybe they are working in their purpose, they are fulfilling their purpose, and that's why it looks like as if they have made it in life. You yourself, you now have to think to yourself that, okay, this person is fulfilling their purpose. purpose? What is my own purpose in life? What's the purpose that God has given to me? Trust me, when you are busy working in your purpose, you don't even have time to sit down and be comparing yourself to other people. It's usually when you don't even have a drive, you don't have something that you are kind of working towards, that you have so much time to sit down on your phone and be sulking, looking at other people's life and comparing yourself to others. I'm sorry if this sounds harsh, but it's the reality, it's the truth. The time that you used to look at people on social media and wishing that, oh, I wish this, I wish that, invest that time into yourself. Invest that time in seeking God and asking God, God, what is my purpose in life? Most times, how to find your purpose, and I'll probably do or film a video on how to find your purpose in life. I remember reading a book or listening to a sermon by Miles Monroe, and he really has a very good teaching on finding your purpose. And one of the things I remember learning then was that your purpose is something that you're really good at. Like, set yourself, what is it that I'm really good at doing, that I do it so effortlessly? Trust me, that is your purpose. I'll give you my own personal example. When I was trying to think about, okay, what's my purpose and things like that, one of the things I discovered was that I love speaking. I love talking to people. I love encouraging them. I love, having this kind of discussion with people, especially with young people, helping them fulfill their potential, helping them reach their goals and things like that. And then I realized that it's something that I can do naturally, effortlessly. Coming down to sit in front of the camera, it doesn't take me so much to say something. Like, it doesn't take me so much to encourage somebody. And even before God confirmed that that's my purpose, I knew that that is what God has, that is one of the things that God has called me to do. And that's because I realized it's something I can do effortlessly. So set yourself and think, is it that maybe I cook, I love cooking, or maybe I'm someone that loves to help people, maybe I'm someone that is really passionate or really burdened about, people that are less fortunate, people that are underrepresented, and you are so passionate about helping them to fulfill their potential, helping them to be the best they can be. That is your purpose. So you need to set yourself and think, what is my purpose? And when you're working in your purpose, you won't have time. Of course, there are times that, the way social media is, it really just attracts you. Whenever you find yourself doing that, just snap out of it, okay? And I find that sometimes people will be comparing themselves to people that are in their 40s and are in their 20s. These people in their 40s, they have a whole lot of experience. They have reached this milestone because they decide to build themselves. So you too, build yourself up. Instead of, you can look up to someone, but don't compare yourself with them, essentially. So, and I'm going to leave a Bible passage as well that encourages you not to compare yourself to others. My last point is love yourself. It's important to love yourself. Self-love really helps you when it comes to maximizing your 20s, because when you love yourself, you know that you tell yourself, yes, this opportunity is for me. You tell yourself, okay, I deserve this. I deserve to feel good about this. I deserve to take myself out. I deserve to eat my favorite lunch. I deserve to have beautiful relationships. I deserve to be the best that I can be. So loving yourself is really important. Take time to care for yourself. Self-care is so important. Reward yourself, okay? There are times that you achieve your goal and you just think, okay, I've achieved my goal, hooray. But no, celebrate yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need to develop yourself. You are doing it for you. You owe yourself that. Remember that you cannot pour out from an empty cup, okay? So if you don't love yourself, it's difficult for you to love others. You see those relationships that I talked about earlier on, about surrounding yourself with the right people. It's difficult for you to be able to do that. It's difficult for you to be able to form solid relationships if you yourself don't love yourself, because you can't give out what you don't have. So this is my encouragement to you today. So these are some of the points I have in terms of maximizing your 20s. And I really hope that this video has been encouraging. I really hope that you've learned a lot from this video. These are things that I've learned and I'm still learning in my 20s. So if you found this video useful, if you learned a thing or two, why not leave a comment in the comment section? I'm going to be looking forward to all of your comments, and honestly, seeing your comments, makes me so happy. It shows that you guys are probably learning something or you're engaging with my channel, which really excites me. So please leave a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to like this video, share this video to someone that you love, someone that you know that, okay, both of us, we have to maximize our 20s, both of us, we have to grow together. Send it to your friends, your loved ones. Let them also, learn a thing or two from this video as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please kindly subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.